Hey, we got a great group in the house. We got Dirt Dude for one. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, race fans? You ready?
Don't you wish? Some car goes screaming through the building here right about now. So, hey, who are your two special guests?
None other than the Salazar family here.
Yeah.
Troy Salazar and Todd Salazar.
Absolutely. Welcome aboard, guys. Come on up close.
Thanks for having us.
Well, and then, you're not talking?
Thanks for having us.
What, I got to give you $1? Jesus, look at this guy. Hey, folks, I'm telling you what, it's taken me a while to get him in here, but I think if anybody knows anything about Barona Speedway, you don't know nothing about Barona Speedway because you guys have partnered up, got some great sponsors, and you guys are just knocking this track out of the park. I mean, you've come in with new clay. I mean, you guys have totally repainted. Tell us some of the other great things you've done.
The biggest improvement we've made as of lately, obviously, is the clay. To date, we've not stopped. We've put over 400 loads of clay on the ground at this point.
Wow. And where do you get your clay? I mean, is it a special?
That's none of your business.
You'd have to shoot me if you tell me.
Yes.
Okay, I got
to bury you in it.
Hey, I don't want to know. No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And everybody, when people are listening, they're going, clay? I mean, okay. And tell, what is the reasoning? Why are you bringing dirt in when you're sitting on a mountain?
Well, the problem is the native material that's out there now not only is DG and porous and ripping up tires, it just does not hold the surface that the racers want. So having to go outside of the box and bring in material that's usable for the racetrack makes all the difference in the world. The stickier, the better. No rocks. I mean, it's a home run when we can figure out the formula.
Yeah. And that's the key. It is a formula. And the weather has a lot to do with it. You might think you got it totally figured out, and then all of a sudden it gets really dewy and misty, and then it adds more
changes everything. I mean, literally changes everything. Water content, type of car we run, when the sun goes down, everything affects that surface. It's new to us. We're working on it. I'd be the first to admit it was not perfect the last race we ran. I will not rest until it is.
Well, of course. And let's face it, you're not just running one car.
No, we throw the kitchen sink at the place
with different engines and different tires. And I mean, it's I challenge anybody to go out there and water and cut and prepare a track better than you guys. I mean, I challenge anybody.
I tell everybody that I compare that track to a brownie. Like when you're baking a brownie.
Take your headphones off. You're screaming at us.
I got one off already. I tell everybody it's like baking a brownie because, I mean, the center stays gooey, but the top gets crusted off. That's what happens during the summer, during the heat races and stuff like that. We come back out and regrade it and blade it and put water back on it, and that moisture, when it cools down, just wicks up from the surface, from the inner part of the track to the surface and remoisturizes the track. And it's one of those things you can't very tell on it. Like, is it going to be a hot day, cold day, a little bit of cloud cover, and then summer is going to come around. You get the wind, blows the top of the track off, and the dirt itself is different. Every track you go to has a different makeup of clay where, that's what you have to work with too.
I think that's why people run on dirt. Because of the inconsistency of the surface.
People run on dirt because it's a better show than asphalt. That's what
well, that too. Well, and that's because of the dirt. That's because of the dirt. Because, I mean, when the dirt's not, the 100%, well, it's not just for one driver, it's for all drivers.
Well, 20 cars following the line on asphalt, they don't get sideways. But you get 20 cars going sideways drifting, and they're all in different lanes. That's a show. I
always call it ballet.
You think the formula for the dirt is difficult. Imagine when you're in the car making the adjustments for the ever-changing conditions. I mean, you throw the dwarf cars on there and then the modifieds come out there and just beat the tar out of it. It changes everything. And the drivers have to adapt as we do. We got to work together here. You know what I mean?
What did you guys do? You ran the dwarfs one night first before anybody else?
It was opening night.
Oh, did I hear hoopala's for that? They thought that was the greatest thing in the world because they had a fresh track all to themselves.
Well, I interviewed the winner at the end of that, and he's like, dude, those last 5 laps, that was coming in. He goes, I had it matted trying to get this car to go as fast as it would, and it was sticking the whole time. He goes, if we would have started this race now, at this point, it would have been totally different. He goes, I don't know if I could have won it or not.
Wow. Well, and that's really it, because the heart of the track is the surface. I mean, let's face it, because it's good for the drivers, and that in turn gives the consumer who's watching the race even a better show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So how much more dirt can you put down? Or have you got pretty much where you're at?
We're good where we're at right now. We are talking about doing a couple other things I'm trying to convince my brother of. One thing I would like to do in moving forward this year is definitely introduce the motorcycles and the quads back out to Barona Speedway. They have such a huge following. We've got the room to do it. Motorcycles take up a third of the room that cars do. I mean, you could put 6 of them in one trailer.
Yeah. Flat track guys.
And they're
watched
interested.
I just watched it the other night. I mean, I've never seen, these guys were on a dirt oval, and when the race was over, there was a black rubber strip all the way around.
Oh, the Blue Groove, yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Groove. I'm going, well, really? And these guys are, and again, because there's really no place for those guys to run.
Yeah, they're limited. They have a series that they run down in the valley right now, and it's having a lot of success. I've reached out to a couple of them. Supposed to have a meeting with them here shortly. Hopefully this is going to work out. I'd love to see them at least come back and fill some of the gaps. It's all about what the best show for the fans is, and that's what we're interested in doing.
Well, and there's a group that run up at Paris, the go-karts, the dirt carts.
I spoke to a go-kart guy before we got on the car to come here.
Yeah.
And the same thing. Whether we run them on the kids track, whether we make a track that just outlines the kids track specifically for them, we're open to anything that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, folks, just don't sit there on your duff and leave it up to the Salazar family. They do take suggestions at baronaspeedway.com. Doesn't that, I mean, they would love to have you give some ideas. And if you got money, that helps. And if you got bodies, that helps too.
If I could, just some of the things, again, we've done this year, improvements on the facility. One of the things I cannot say enough about our track staff, the volunteers, the people that help. Without them, we can't do what we do. I mean, it takes a village, literally, not just the drivers, but the facility in order to run. My family's been doing this a really long time. I'd like to thank my mom, my brother, extended family, both of our wives for putting up with us and allowing us to do this. It's time consuming. It's a thankless job at some point, but moving onward, some of the specifics of people that are helping us, Bob Belcher, that guy goes above and beyond. He is irreplaceable. I hope he never goes anywhere because we can barely do it without him.
Right.
Roger and Nancy Harper, Marvin Deb Chapman, Greg Smith, the tow truck driver. I mean, the list goes on. I don't want to miss anyone. Chris Porfilio, Eric Evans, the ladies in the scoring booth, the ladies at the check-in booth. I mean, it goes from top to bottom. Without these people, we cannot do what we do, and I appreciate each and every one of you. You included, buddy. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to.
No,
you're here.
You're page a couple.
I didn't write
on the very back.
I didn't write your name down because you're here.
I just got to thank mostly the fans, man, because that's what really keeps it going. Is the
Absolutely.
fans coming out to watch the races. That's it.
Yeah. And I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Once you go, you'll go back again. It's that much fun. I mean, the racing is, I'll tell you, I challenge anybody to find anything more exciting. I mean, it's really amazing.
I'll tell you one thing that happened last week that I'm actually proud to say. The program started and ended at such a reasonable time. The stands were still totally full. Time management is everything. In my opinion. We lose them at 9:30, 10 o'clock. We ended the program at 8:34 last weekend, and the stands were packed. And all the kids got a chance to go down into
then the pits became
meet
packed.
the drivers and sign autographs and do all that stuff. And that's it's what we need.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And it's kind of I can't argue with that at all. And the coolness about it is, I mean, for a minimal amount of money, what, $12?
Adults are $12, teens are $8, 7 to 12, $4, 6 and under are free.
Yeah.
Show us a military ID.
Boom.
We're working on doing something different with that right now.
Yeah.
On even giving them a better rate for
real better bang for their buck. Well, like I said, if you go anywhere else in town and put a family together, like go to a Padre game and see if you're going to see how much money you spend feeding the family, because you can go to your track and you guys got a great vending and great cooks. But you can bring your own sandwiches. You can bring your own little barbecue. You can do whatever you want to do.
Bring your RV, your barbecues, your friends, an ice chest, the kids. Come out, spend an evening with us. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Spend the night because you haven't seen the Barona party.
Welcome to do that, too. You can hear us call on Sunday morning with the wind blowing from
Well, I got to tell you, Todd used to call in a lot on radio, and every time he'd call in, he was always on the tractor. You could always hear the wind whipping around his head. Well, he'd be great. And you hear that old tractor clanking along, working on the track.
It's an ever-ending process.
Never ending. Hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back, there's a whole lot more right here on Racer Radio, AM 1170. The Answer. All right, folks. Hey, welcome back to Racer Radio. This segment brought to you by El Cajon Ford, where nobody, absolutely nobody, treats you better than El Cajon Ford. You can go to 1595 East Main Street. Mention you heard it on KCBQ. They've got a sale going on right now that'll knock your socks off. They are big, big supporters of Barona Circle Track. Why? Well, because Paul Dyke and his family race out there. They've been racing out there for what? As long as almost as...
The kids started at Mini Dwarf.
Yeah, in the Mini Dwarf. So check it out, folks. And when you go down to El Cajon Ford and you're picking up a new or used car, tell them you heard it right here on KCBQ and tell them that, hey, thanks for supporting Barona, because they need to hear that. Because, I mean, let's face it, it's, keeping these tracks alive, folks. It's not free. And when you're only charging $12 tops to get in, trust me, it takes a lot of bodies to keep that track on the road. So I got Todd and
Troy.
It's right there on your
That's hurtful, Dave. It's
right on
there
your shirt, for God's sakes.
Troy Dirt Inc.
Troy Dirt Inc. So what do you do? Haul dirt? Let
I
me
do.
guess.
I haul clay too, Dave.
And that's
just
why
so
you
happens.
know where the clay is. You're not going to tell anybody. So now one of the people that we were thanking everybody, even Dirt Dude, for everything he does. I think your dad's in there someplace, or somebody's dad.
My father-in-law.
Yeah. What's his name?
Paul Wilson.
Okay.
He just retired.
Yeah.
So when we were getting the clay in there, he was doing knockdown for us and helping shape the racetrack.
He just likes driving all those big equipment, right?
Yeah,
Especially when I'm paying for it.
He put
Oh.
in countless hours out there. Could not have done it without him.
Well,
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, and that's really what that. I mean, you've got a nice list. Now, where are we at on your list?
I was rolling through here. I'd like to, if we can. You already
Hey, it's
mentioned
your segment, dude.
You mentioned El Cajon Ford. I'd like to thank some of our other sponsors
Yeah.
that we just took on this season. Diesel Print Company. They print all of our shirts, hats, banners, everything that we're doing.
Wow.
Love having them on board. The guy's been very helpful to us. Look forward to dealing with him in the years to come. Acme Well Drilling, Whaley Pools. Ron, thanks over there for everything you do. Coastline Steel, Native Descendants, Doss Painting, Southwest Boulder and Stone, Coachworks, Davis Bixby Trucking 2, RDO Equipment, Pollock Earthworks, Countywide Towing, thank you, Billy, National Tank Company, D3, Sexton Fire Protection, Swift Powder Coating, Rex Hurley Bee Control, Rex Harvey, excuse me, and Troy Dirt.
He's asking you to read his notes.
Well,
He's a friend of ours.
he just told me their name today. He removed a beehive out of one of the bathrooms.
He takes care of our bee problems
Oh, do you have a bee problem up there?
sometimes, and
Oh.
he spectates.
Oh, and he spectates.
Rex is a big race fan.
And there's always room for more. Hey, not since we're advertising. If somebody wanted to throw a billboard up there, what kind of money are we looking at?
We put a billboard up, 8x12 with any design logo you want, $1,000. Look me up on the website.
Wow.
Send me the artwork. That includes the cost of the sign.
For
You
how
can
long?
find us on BaronaSpeedway.com for the entire season.
We put
Really?
your name on anything, even the water truck.
The water truck is definitely for sale, the tank.
How much can I get for the back of his head? I can
We'll
put
talk after
Racer
the show.
Radio right on We'll shave it. Oh, man, come on. I'll even do the shaving myself. Well, that's not bad. That's $1,000. That's definitely,
Seems affordable.
because you're averaging 500 to 600 fans a week
Uh-huh.
times 12. That's a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's a lot of exposure.
Times 16, actually. We have 16 races.
Yeah,
on the schedule.
yeah. No, that's awesome. Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention next race, April 21st. First flag drops at 5 o'clock. IMCA modified, super stocks, street stocks, pony stocks, pier stocks, and dwarf cars.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to incorporate the kids as well.
Right.
Kind of a special event for them. Gates open at 12. Racing starts at 5.
Right. And usually you're done by 10, roughly, depending on the
We'd
night.
like to shave that down to about 9 o'clock. if it were up to
sure.
me.
It's only like you've been there 7 days a week.
Yeah, right.
Well, and I can't. And the other thing too, by the way, if you haven't been to the website, folks, maybe you're new to town, maybe you're in the military, maybe you raced back in North Carolina and you wanted to race out here. All the rules and regulations are on the website. So and then if there's a phone number, there's actually a phone number there if you want to talk to a real person, or come to the track, get a pit pass, find the division that you think you would like to get involved in. Just speak to one person and they'll all come talk to you.
There's cars for sale out there right now in every division that we run.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
I know. That's why I'm not looking.
Get the bug. That's all it takes.
Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me. Every time somebody gives me a ride in something, I end up buying it.
Some really exciting news of something coming up, and I really want to try to push this because it's something the fans have not had the opportunity to see in some time. The California Lightning Sprints will be returning to Barona on May 19th,
Wow.
and that is the entire club. We're anticipating anywhere from 25 to 30 of their cars. They came out for practice, and the result was really good. The positive comments they had about the new surface, they turned 12-second laps at that racetrack.
Goodness
It's
gracious.
pretty impressive. But
So
just-
explain what a lightning sprint is for maybe folks that have never seen one. Or
a
don't know
lightning
what it-
sprint is basically a shrunk down sprint car that has up to a 1200cc motorcycle engine in it. Doesn't matter manufacturer, Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki, whatever they want to run in it, but it's up to a spec of what the group has decided they can run. They're pretty impressive. It's
and
a wing.
big honking wing.
They got
on
a
top.
big giant wing on the top of the car that helps them navigate their way through the corners. And when they're hooked up, they're one of probably the fastest cars you will see at that race.
Wow. And
You're
you'll
doing
see
our quarter mile in 12 to 13 seconds, probably.
compared to say what are some of the other cars there? What do they run a quarter?
Dwarf cars, you're probably the 14, 15s. You know,
Wow, that's
mods are probably right about there with the dwarf cars. Those are their two fastest divisions, other than the Lightning Sprints.
Wow.
The only thing that was really fastest when we ran them there was 360s and 410 Sprinters.
The
Were the
600
fastest.
sprint cars were quicker
Boy.
back in the day. It was a
Yeah,
power to
back
weight
in the day.
ratio.
I was
But
gonna-
those cars have long disappeared.
Yeah. No kidding. So what else you got?
I've been milling through this. I
That's good. No, you're doing
again. I
good.
want to talk about again the Lightning Sprints. Really excited. They raced.
Yeah.
They raced last night at Ventura and just put on a heck of a show. Like I said, I cannot wait.
And it is a show.
They
It
have not
is.
been out to Verona in 10 years or more.
Right.
And there's
And-
only a few local. Those guys travel all over the place.
Yeah.
to
They're
get to
pretty
their
excited
shows.
about coming down here, and we're pretty excited about having them. I'm
Absolutely.
anxious to bring that to the fans. I think it's really something to see.
Yeah, and that's true. And the other thing we're going to work on too, and we haven't quite figured out how to pull it together. I have been traveling the last 2 weeks. So I'm back in town again. Is I want to start reaching out and do like a celebrity race. Get 8, 10, 39 Fox all out there
I love that
in
idea.
a car. Put them in a pure stock. Do some laps and and get them to promote it on their TV stations.
Absolutely.
To get their fans to come out and have their own little routing, little route sections where each station can have their own little. Maybe
Let's do it.
Rope it off a little bit, where they like this is 8, 10, 39 Fox. Yeah, I think it'd be a hoot.
Tabitha Lipkin, you've been put on notice. We're going to need you out at Barona Speedway.
That's
We'll find
right.
a car for you.
Well, I've already
Fox
talked.
Sports.
Yeah, I've talked to. Well, then we got to decide: do we want to have it all male or what? Male and female? I think we should do both male and female.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not from how she talked. She was game on and wanted to do it.
They're all. When I mention it to anybody in KUSI, they're all game on. They're all going. They're all ready to rock and roll.
Would that include you then or not? Because you to handicap
No,
them
because
already. Because
I
you
know,
already
I
got
know.
the driving advantage that they don't
wanna
have.
I know.
We have to tie a big yellow ribbon on the back of your car,
Oh
Dave.
no, I have this thing called red mist. No, you don't. No. I'm terrible. I mean, whenever I'm behind, I always purposely get behind and work my way to the front. I did Bondurant, and they said no touching at Bondurant. And this was with Mark Maynard, and if he's listening, he's going to call in, but I don't think he's listening, thank God. And I started dead last, because they says, of course, no touching. Do not touch, do not touch. So by the time I got and won the race, the whole front bumper of the car had no paint on it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I'd come in, tack it, and you'd get all wiggly and bash out.
Rubbin's racing, Dave.
So, yeah, and it's a red mist thing, I mean, I saw. But no, I would definitely want to come out there. Hey, oh, yeah, okay. I just freaked out. I just seen Chris Holtz on the line, and that's probably another guy you need to deal with. He works with sprint cars. He's going to bring him to Paris Auto Speedway.
Love to talk to
So
him.
when we do the interview, you guys put headphones on. That way you guys are more than welcome to talk to him, and he's going to talk to us about, and he's a great promoter. I mean,
Okay.
he is a phenomenal promoter. In fact, he might be your inside track to motorcycles. 'Cause
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, I know I'm old, but I think he does motorcycles as well. So when we take our break and we come back, we'll chat with him as well. Because Chris is on the same mindset you are. We got to support all the local tracks, especially in Southern California.
Absolutely. I'd like to figure out how to refine our schedule the best that we can,
Mm-hmm.
cooperate with Ventura, Paris, Coco
Coco
Paw,
Paw.
any of these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, if we divide these cars and we're racing them all on the same night, it does no one any
It
good.
doesn't anybody. And not even the racers, because the racers want to have a good
Well, they're torn of who they're going to end up racing. Did that guy go down the hill or stay up here?
Right.
I mean, I'd like to thank a lot of people that come out to our track as far as drivers. I mean, last race we had Kelsey Foley and Chaz Baca, Bill Miller. They came out of Central Arizona.
Wow.
And we also had Jessica Clark came down from Ventura area. So our track gets its name out there a little bit, and people are willing to travel to come to
I
it.
say? Once they get on the track or in the stands, they come back. It's just getting them there get them in there that first time and give them a good show. And by the way, who does your trophies? You better be thanking that guy. Who does your trophies? Nobody knows who they do the trophies.
I don't.
We just switched to a new one. Nancy Harper took over for the trophies.
Okay.
And so she just switched to a new company. I can find out who that is.
Okay, well, I just thought,
mostly it's the sponsors on the trophy is what gets promoted the most.
Gotcha. And by the way, that is an opportunity. You can have your own trophy, right?
Absolutely.
So that's might be something I'll think about. All right. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break right now. All right, we got Todd and Troy Salazar in the house, plus Dirt Dude from Barona Speedway. I invited them to come in and talk about all the new upgrades at Barona Speedway. If it's been a while since you have been there, trust me, you need to take a run back up the mountain. You'll be surprised. Prices of the tickets have only gone up, $2?
Yep.
If that. And it's just an opportunity. The car count is huge. Their calendar is huge. They're running, 5-6 divisions a night. And you can be done by
7 and
9
8 sometimes.
And you can be done by 9:30. Great evening. And if you want to camp out, there's a ton of stuff. What else you got on that big list of yours, man?
I forgot to mention one thing that we worked a lot on and kind of proud of it. The new website, baronaspeedway.com. One thing that you're going to see coming to that, we've got a new track photographer. His name's Chad Clark, Lasting Images by Chad Clark. He's an excellent photographer. Those pictures will be available through our website. You can get with him, order whatever you want. He'll put it on a plate, a coffee cup, a cutting board, whatever you want. He's an excellent dude. He's totally committed to the cause, and we're glad to have him. Thanks, Chad.
So you're going to start putting these shows on the website? That's it. Then I'll start driving everybody to the website to listen to the shows if they missed.
There you go.
If you can get them up there,
we can.
All right.
We have the ability to do that if you can make them available.
I sent him to Smiley there every week, right?
Yeah.
You get them?
Yeah.
You listen to yourself?
No, I hate listening to myself.
I don't blame you.
Next race up at Barona, April 21st. Flag drops at 5 o'clock. IMCA modified, super stocks, street stocks, pony stocks, pure stocks, and dwarf cars.
Wow. Cool.
And then those California Lightning Sprints are coming up fast, too.
Are you going to be able to?
May 19th.
Are you going to be able to call those little guys?
I think I can do it.
You think you can do it?
Done it before.
A lot of cars. They go fast. That's pretty quick. I wouldn't want to be a scorer.
That's the job I never would want.
No. I would never be a scorer.
You don't get to watch anything other than turn 4.
Yeah, and that in your paper.
Yeah.
4 paper.
Especially when there's a lot and they're going fast. It's hard to keep up with.
What else you got?
Just one more thing I wanted to mention.
We got 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, then we got time. I wanted to say congratulations to Ryan Beat, the 51 car out of Alpine, California. Won in the Pro Light division last night.
Congrats.
Good for him. They've been family friends of ours forever.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy. He's one of the few guys I see out there that literally wrenches on his own car. Full family program. Good for you, man. Proud of you.
Yeah. Well, and I think what I like is the profile of all the different drivers you have at Barona. You got school teachers, you got business people, you got dealership owners. I mean, you got every walk of life out there spinning around.
Oh, you're not kidding.
I like to see the advancement from our junior drivers. They start off on the junior track, and now they're on the big track, and some of them moved on to other big racing venues, and they all started on our
Sheldon
track.
Creed.
Yeah.
And didn't he start with you guys?
Yeah. Well, he's been racing go-karts and everything.
Yeah.
He's a nice young man. I really like
He's
him.
a wheelman.
Did
he can drive anything.
Did he just build a dwarf car?
He
had
built.
one very briefly.
What happened? Did he kill it?
No, he sold it.
No, he sold it because I think his time is committed elsewhere.
You think?
Yeah, he's he's in high demand.
He's in super high demand. Yeah, I've worked with him and his grandfather now.
Yep, Maurice
Ortega.
Maurice Ortega.
Very nice man.
Just an amazing family. And anytime anybody can teach Robbie Gordon a trick or two,
Right.
he's in my back pocket.
Going back to the all walks of life, though, and seeing these kids growing
Yeah.
up that have been there, that are now running in the taller divisions, different types of cars, men, women, kids,
Yeah.
all of the above.
Makes you feel old, huh?
A little bit, but it's cool to see. I mean, the whole transition, and watching the track develop.
By the way, you're going to get yourself in trouble because there's a guy, I think he's still out there at Barona. His name is Hinkle, Fire and Safety.
Tom Hinkle.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, we didn't thank the fire crew.
Yeah, I was just going to mention it. Just
Fire and rescue.
Well, and Tom is, I made the fatal mistake one time. He says, "Hey, you want to come out in the fire truck in the infield at Barona Speedway?" Yeah, sure. That'd be a different aspect. I'll never do that again in my life, dude. I don't know how the driver knew the cars were crashing before they crashed because he was gone before they were crashing. And if you weren't ready and hanging on to something, you could end up on the dirt.
Yeah,
but that's that guy, he's hardcore. His whole crew is hardcore.
Remember when I told you I had a list of names I was going to leave someone out? Sorry about that, Tom.
That's
Thank
okay.
you.
And, I think a lot of his crew, aren't they military? I mean, a lot of them are either retired or still active military.
Or firemen, yeah.
God, just amazing. I mean, it's the most fun, folks. I'm telling you. If you haven't done it, I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but once you take the kids, that's the main thing. Get the family. Going to a movie is one thing, but when you go to the track and you can run around the hills, I mean, it's really
where
the best.
can you go be entertained for 3 hours? Literally,
for $12.
Adult ticket prices $12. Teens $8, kids $4. I mean, it's the cheapest game in town. You can bring your own food.
I know.
I don't know any other track that you can bring your own food and drinks.
We do have a concession stand, and they do make good food there as well.
That
However,
beef and cheddar tri-tip is pretty awesome.
Well, you're
man.
lucky Michelle's not here because her and I were up there last time, and we could not find that building to save our lives.
The hamburger stand in the middle of everything, and they couldn't
literally
find it.
is. It takes up the entire front stretch. Dave, I don't know where you were.
20 by 60.
We swear to God, we could smell it. We could smell. We couldn't find it. So we since you don't listen because you're always out working on the track, have we not been complaining? We want signage.
I think next time they come up, we're going to have to get a VIP
I'll
gold
come
card to take them
with an
around.
escort you from the front gate.
Because it smells so good.
One more thing I want to circle back around on and address, if we could just take a minute.
Sure.
Bringing all this new material into the racetrack has been a huge improvement.
Right.
It is an ever-evolving animal that, again, I will not rest until we figure out this formula. It's holding moisture the way that we want it to. We had a little bit of problem with some rutting the last race. There's definitely room for improvement. My brother and I will make sure that this happens. I think it may be another race or two. It will be perfect.
Right.
And that goes out to the drivers, the fans, and everyone. It's mission statement. That is our inevitable goal here.
Right.
Someone else we forgot to thank was Ken McCowan. His son races a junior sprint in the pony stock.
Mm-hmm.
He's out there helping me Friday nights, and then Saturday mornings, and then Saturdays.
Wow.
He's a big help to me as well.
Well, you've got a big volunteer crew. Which
We have to. It takes a village.
I mean, it does.
Like I said, people that aren't familiar with, when it's a race week, my brother and I are messing with that track from the beginning or middle of the week through the weekend, and don't go home until Sunday.
Right.
And it takes all hands on deck to make that happen.
Sure.
I cannot thank enough both of our wives, my wife Tammy at home, my daughter, for allowing me the time to do it. And without them standing behind us, there's no way this is possible.
And then I have Trisha's been stepping up and helping us and everything with the website, and she's stepping up helping my mom with things at the pit booth, being in the pit booth.
Sure.
And then my two other kids, Tatum's is 7, and then Ty's my boy, he's 2. And they just have a blast.
Oh, heck
they
yeah, man.
We're going camping to the track.
Yep. That's the future.
If I forgot to say this would be probably the worst thing ever. We're talking about sponsors and all this stuff. My mother, Judy Salazar, none of this happens without her.
Without.
She's
100%.
She's there every weekend. She is all in. She works in the sign-in booth. She's running. She's everywhere.
Why? But why? Is it because of you guys? I mean, she doesn't look like she races.
I think we all got sucked into it, but it's a conglomerate of effort. Like I said, we're a family and we're a pretty tight knit group.
And she takes it dead serious, 100%.
Oh yeah, no, she is all in. But at end of day, she is also the decision maker around here.
Right.
So any of you that are questioning that, you'd probably have to go through our mother first.
Well, they got to go through you two first, then you'll get to my mom.
Yeah.
Don't blow her ego up too much.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. Oh my gosh, you want to be able to get in the car.
Love you, Mom.
So one of the things I just wanted to say, if you've been out to the track before, you haven't been out to the track, these guys have changed everything. I mean, from a new logo, from new dirt on the track to the whole track itself has been changed. Troy and Todd have been pouring their heart into it for this year, and it's really showing because the respect we're getting back on it and the feedback we're getting back on it is all positive. If you haven't been to the track before, or it's been a long time since you've been to the track, come out and give it a try. It is all new this year.
Right. And you're absolutely right. And the spectator advantage points are great. You can go anywhere around the track and get some really nice advantage points to really watch the races.
You can go from the grandstands to sit in your car. There's a place up on the upper hill that
we have
people parked in their car watching it from their car.
There's a giant parking lot that has a bird's eye view of that place that you can have a fire pit and barbecue and everything and literally look right over the top of the whole place.
And then you can spend the night after you've partied in the pits and then get up the next morning.
As long as you're self-contained.
Well, you have to be self-contained.
There by 10, and it's on Sunday.
No throwing up. That's what I mean by self-contained. Well, on second thought. No, I mean, it's, like I said, and if you haven't been up there, a lot of people are, I don't like going up Wildcat Canyon Road. No, they've really improved that. They've widened it in areas. They've got dividers down the center. And I don't think they allow drinking in the casino.
No.
At all. Yeah, you go to the casino as much as I go.
They have the food court or the downstairs, the plaza, we're in the restaurants.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about, because people.
But there is overnight accommodations there, and it's only 4.5 miles away from the track.
I know. And it's how come you can't drag racetrack trailers in from the north? I thought that was
too tight of bends.
There's a big rock that hangs out one of those. There's a hairpin.
You haven't got rid of that yet?
We have a 40-foot fifth wheel, and I'm on pins and needles when I'm pulling up around the big rock.
You haven't pulled that boulder out of there yet?
No,
come on, get
yet.
your toy over.
I'll work on it.
No one will ever know. We'll just hear a big
couple of them
boom
trailers
one night.
tried knocking it down before, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised somebody hasn't already. All right. Well, hey, BaronaSpeedway.com, BaronaSpeedway.com. Folks, I'm telling you. And if you go to the website, BaronaSpeedway.com, and say, hey, I heard you guys on KCBQ, what are you going to give the first 5 people?
I got family 4-packs of tickets I'd love to give away.
Woohoo! BaronaSpeedway.com. First 5 people that send them an email, you're going to get hooked up, and you'll be a guest of Barona Speedway. And the number 1 guy, we might even give him some time on radio. All right, AM 1170, we're out of here.
Until then, who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again. Some trails are happy.
Racer Radio on AM 1170 The Answer is sponsored by Love Radio Network.